Criminal punishment for possession of synthetic drugs. For the first time in the last 15 years.
Fire and shooting and spectacular detention.
Law enforcement officers seized the man right in his private house.
The security forces detained a particularly large batch of drugs.
A major manufacturer of synthetic drugs. Arrested.
Detained.
For the alarmists. Detained.
And more than 1,000 people were detained.
Violence and brutality have gone hand in hand with the drug business throughout its history. But what to do when the aggressor crosses all imaginable and unimaginable boundaries? Is it possible to trust someone who threatens both physical violence and connections with employees, those to whom he offers joint work? How will the customers of that marketplace feel, which boasts of the ability to resolve any issue with the authorities? Will they feel safe on this platform, knowing that they provide data about their orders, transfers, couriers to those who openly call themselves Red? I, Moriarty, your guide on the dark side of the internet, will tell you about this and much more. It's no secret to anyone that after the fall of the world-famous Hydra layout place, a war of sites began in the darknet. I'm not afraid of this word. In an attempt to take a place in the sun, the teams of opposing marketplaces do not skimp on anything. Whether it's a financial component of a PR campaign, diligent destruction of the enemy's resource through endless DDoS attacks. Sometimes it comes to attempts to slander or involve one or even several opposing sides in an intrigue in order to push them off with a pause. Divide and conquer. I perfectly understand every participant of this crazy marathon. In war, all means are good. I am a long-time representative of this industry and have seen a lot of things. But one thing still remains unclear to me. Today, I would like to discuss with you an incident that happened just the other day and has already managed to fly around the news feeds of Telegram channels. On the 15th of July, a chat called Diplomacy was created in the Telegram, in which representatives of almost all marketplaces known today, including me, were invited. I want to note right away that I was very surprised by the venue of this summit, but I could not find out what the banquet was about. When everyone gathered, representatives of Router, they, as everyone knows, OMG, declares the need to create a certain coalition of sites, begins to pour clever words about anti-dumping strategies, a single commission for marketplaces, promises untold treasures, free advertising on Router, complete security and patronage of higher forces. Almost an immortal life. But in return, we all need to join hands and say we are a coalition, we are against the villainous Hydra. And yes, now the commission is 10% for everyone, and everyone will be fine. In fact, a kind of American blockbuster with a happy ending for all participants. But let's look at this situation from all sides. And the first question that suggests itself, against whom are we friends? Against a non-existent Hydra or an equally mythical character Kraken, created as you know, by a small offshoot of the moderators who managed to steal and solve at the time. I will ask you to leave such stories for amateurs. My dear enemies, before I continue my narrative, I want to warn you right away. While you were wasting money, buying whole forums and Telegram channels, I was busy working exclusively inside my project. To date, the best moderators of the Russian darknet are acting under my flag. Each of them has more than 1,000 debated disputable situations behind them. Experienced programmers, I'm not afraid to say this, from all over the globe are working day and night both on improving the main resource and on innovative projects that will be able to pleasantly surprise every user of the dark web in the near future. Do you remember the aggressive advertising of Hitler? All these people are working with me now. The best minds of Udark work tirelessly so that I can boldly and publicly declare. Mega, a completely autonomous project that does not need any coalition or any help from dubious visitors. We are ready to act and, importantly, we are ready to be fully responsible for our actions. Yes, yes, my dear competitors, I perfectly remember your pseudo-investor, who is ready to buy out 50% of my corporation and invest there literally by the wagons. But you would first sort out the payments to your sellers. Read the same forum dealers have been waiting for weeks for payments. What millions of investments can you talk about if you can't banally transfer to a dealer from an urban-type settlement his hard-earned 25,000 rubles? But most of all in this whole story with Helping Hands, I was struck by the subsequent reaction to my refusal. I didn't tell you that during the Telegram Diplomacy Summit, the following was announced to all its participants. We, OMG, can solve any issue with the SBU, the National Police, the thieves, and the blamed. I was promised to resolve the issue almost by the UN Security Council in return for my loyalty to the coalition. Of course I refused. For me, first of all, my users are important, and not those who literally spat poison in my direction a day or two before. So why should I exchange already built relationships with dealers, doubling their commission? For the sake of some kind of pseudo-support and a branch on an already bending form? I was really amused by the response of my opponent, who assured me that the thieves were about to call me and even promised to send a probe team to me. My dear young friend, please remember one simple truth. People from the highest circles of the criminal world will never associate themselves with drugs in their lives, nor will they fit in for a dealer. It is unacceptable for them, as well as in general, to conduct a dialogue with you on an equal footing. And now I would like to address my listeners. Think about whether it is worth having a dialogue, and even more so any business, with those who openly declare that they are in close relations with law enforcement agencies and try to manipulate it at the first opportunity. Are you a seller or a simple buyer? Are you ready to provide such a person with data about your treasures, wallets, contacts and messengers, correspondence within the site? Someone who can at any moment, and not of his own free will, of course, but place you as a simple pawn. You know what the price is for all this. Therefore, at the end of my first public speech, I would like to wish you all success in all your endeavors. Choose the right business partners.